Yo, what's going on, Donnies and Donuts, and welcome to another brand new episode of the Mobile DJ Mastery. Yes! Guys, as always, every single week I'm striving to make sure I bring you new, fresh, banging episodes with stuff that we can take some meat and bones. And on this episode, you lot know how I always bang on about my DJ network. Well, today, I've brought one of my good friends, Mike Reddins, who's a part of my DJ network. And we've had this DJ network running for at least 9 to 10, no, I'll even say longer than that, say about a year. We've been running it for about a year. And me and him have been literally networking with each other as DJs, elevating each other, helping each other, being super open and transparent. And this is the one thing I want to mention before we get into this episode, is about like when you're searching for your DJ network, your DJ tribe, it's not going to be something that happens quick. It won't happen over time. You want to be able to have those conversations and build up that trust, build up that relationship with someone, because the things that can happen from that, guys, I'm telling, I can't, like, every time I mention this about the DJ network, and the DJ network is an individual network just for you. It's not a network that all DJs are a part of. No, this is a very small knit community. For it to be, there just needs to be more than one. You and someone else, and your mindsets need to be joined in some way where you can you might see things the same, or even sometimes you see things different, but when you work together, when you do things together, time seems to fly. They're more than just a network. It's like a friend. It's someone who's got your back, and you root for each other because you understand how difficult things can be, how sometimes things can get that person down, things like that might get you down, and being able to have someone there like that, I'm going to keep saying it, I feel it's imperative for every DJ to have something like this. If you don't have it, no problem. You can seek it. This is one of the major reasons why we're bringing this event to life, because some of the best people and the networks I've grown have come from DJ meetups, DJ conferences, DJ places where lots of DJs meet up. And you might bust a joke with someone, have a beer on the corner. Sometimes it can be something so small and you end up swapping Instagrams, and it goes from Instagram to WhatsApp, and then you're meeting up, and lots of things can happen for that. So I thought it would be beneficial for me to bring one of the DJs on my network here, and Mike is a really good friend of mine, and we keep it fully transparent, and I know there's going to be some major gems that you can take from this episode. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get into this one. Cheese on bread! All right, welcome. Oh my days, Mike Reddins, bruv. It's been a long time. This has been something we've been talking about for a very long time. I'm so glad to have you on the pod, man. How you doing today? How you feeling, my man?
I'm really good. You just said it's been a long time. We literally just spoke about 3 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, but well, to be fair, man, we probably talk more or less almost every day. Do you know what I mean? But getting you on the podcast, that's been what I've been wanting to just put you to the people as much as possible. All right, so before we get into it, like I said in the intro, guys, I don't rate a lot of DJs that much, and there's a lot of DJs I do rate. With a lot of them come on the pod, but there's some that I rate extra especially. And Mike, me and him go way back. And one of the main reasons, like I said, is the why I rate him so much is that when I was coming up in the grind stage, and some people remember me when the times I was asking lots of questions and trying to talk to a lot of people. Now, a lot of DJs gave me the cold shoulder, but then there was one or two DJs that didn't, and Mike was one of them. And what I loved about it is the level that I saw Mike was at and what he was happy to share has 10x my business 100. So I thought it would be very important to bring him on here. Now, one of the things you see me bang on about is talking about the DJ network. And Mike is the first member of my official DJ network. And Mike, has it not been an amazing couple of years, bro, since we've joined up?
Mate, honestly, there was like you've got your reasons behind why this works so well, and I've got my reasons as well, because for me, you just make sure I'm always holding myself accountable. So, when I push you get me to do the same thing.
Yeah,
which
100%.
Pushes me, because otherwise I'm just literally preaching. And man, mindset has been the biggest change for me since we really started this I'm going to say it. Sometimes, you know, we speak daily.
Yeah.
You know, and that could go on for months.
Yeah,
and you know, there's been many occasions where I've needed just to have a little quick word with someone. Mm-hmm. Who's that first person I speak to?
I need your voice note. Like, no problem, and I just reply straight away.
Hey, let's be open and honest. A week ago, did I not phone you up and say, look, I just want to chat to someone?
Yes.
I am mentally tired. Yeah, my body feels great. I'm ready to roll, but I'm mentally tired, man. You know, and I'm finding I'm not posting on Instagram much. I'm not doing much. I'm literally just getting through this
season, isn't it? Because it's been a season and a half.
You know, I think I've done like 10 weddings in 14 days.
Bro, I remember when you did that. That was...
Wow. Yeah. All dayers as well. And just speaking to you and you just saying to me, look, don't worry about Instagram. Don't worry about your website. Don't worry about all this. Just get through this.
Yeah,
just
do what you got to do.
Give the best. And it sounds silly, but that's all I needed to hear.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know,
100%.
And if I didn't have you to be that person I could call, that gig probably wouldn't have gone as well as it did, because that was all pushed to the side because I'd got it out, and I needed that reassurance. And it sounds a bit like, oh, poor old me sort of thing, but it's not. It's a mental thing, and sometimes you can't control your own emotions.
Yeah.
So just having that person
to just ground you quickly.
And again, let's be honest as well. You phoned me up many occasions, exactly the same.
Exactly the same thing. And that little thing can help because, like you said, it's what happens in here, what we do in our heads are scrambling. So when you can phone someone or message someone and just say, look, this is what's going on, and you could just literally say one thing and then that scramble just goes, and you're like, oh, all right, let's move forward. Am I in my own head? Yes, you are. Okay, cool. I just needed to hear that quickly.
And it's not just things like emotion, it's crazy ideas as well.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Right. How many voice notes have we sent to each other about crazy ideas?
Crazy ideas. I've had this idea. We could do this, and what about that? And we could add that, and we could add that.
We could write a book just on all the crazy ideas that we've never actually implemented.
Yeah, exactly. In the graveyard, the ideas graveyard, loads of them. But don't get me wrong, guys. There is some that are coming to life, and you lot will be seeing that. So don't you worry. But Mike, what I wanted to... So usually what I wanted to do is that I would normally start this podcast by, talking about your past and all those kind of things. But I don't want to go down that road. And the reason why is because I want people to kind of know the reason that when I first saw you, the things that I saw and why I felt like I connected with you so much in terms of like how you was doing things. So I'm going to start off by saying, just so guys know, me and Mike met at the Pro Mobile Conference 2023. Was it 2023? It was 2023, right?
2023, yeah.
23 Pro Mobile at a conference up in Solihull, and I remember coming into that room. Mike, I've said this so many times there. I remember coming into that room and I was looking around and so much seats were taken. And guys, as you lot know, when you go to like conferences or shows, or if you haven't been, you're going to be coming to the one that we're going to be doing. But when you go in there, most of us, you look for the back seat. You're like, oh, I just want to be in the back. I just want to. I always know, no, don't sit at the back. Go to the front. If you want maximum value from any show, anything that you're going to see, sit at the front. And I'm looking at the front and there was no available seats. And I didn't know that was Mike, but Mike, there was an available 2 seats for me and Bex to come and sit down. And I come and sat down. I remember sitting down. This was my first conference. I'm sitting down, not knowing Mike, but I'm sitting right next to Mike, right? Mike had this like touch screen pad thing where he was taking notes. He looked all professional and ready. I'm there with the free bit of paper thinking, oh, man. Yeah, you had that. You had that. And I'm like, I need one of those. That looks fancy. Oh man, let me. And I remember just going through it and then just like sitting next to you. Personally, I think it was more fake myself. But afterwards, after that day, well, even during that day, seeing what you was doing, talking to you, looking at your website, listening to how you run your business, I just thought to myself, this guy he's like, you're smashing it out of the park. So Mike, before we go into it, I want you to just kind of introduce yourself by talking to the people about some of maybe the top 5, maybe even 10 things that you've done in the years that you've been in the mobile wedding DJ business.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Where do we start? So I've been in the wedding industry for 15, 16 years. I think I've just passed 15 and a half years.
Okay.
So started off part-time. I used to work for Carphone Warehouse, and I was doing DJing, your typical 30th, 40th, that sort of stuff, and a few weddings here and there. And then during, Jesus Christ, about 2 months before COVID, back in 2020, I made the decision to go full-time. And
was
the
that a
story
scary decision
behind
at the time, Matt? Because a lot of people, I sorry to pause you there. Is that because a lot of people struggle with that? I know a lot of people want to go full time and they're worried about that. What was your thoughts at the time? How was you thinking and feeling about that? Was it scary?
I was absolutely pumped, but my
Okay.
wife, Amy, she was scared, like massively. So like my efforts were going in to reassure her. So basically what I'd done to reassure her, I went to part-time working for Carphone Warehouse.
Okay.
I then went and done something which I never regret, but I wanted to do something that was going to make me hate doing something. So I basically decided to go and create a window cleaning company. And because I knew that I could create anything, I felt confident I could go and do anything. So I thought, I'm going to go become a window cleaner. So I invested in all the equipment, went and knocked on loads of doors, created this incredible window cleaning business. But absolutely, as I predicted, I absolutely hated doing it. Going out, climbing up ladders, using poles in cold weather, rain, all that sort of stuff. And but I had to do something I hated to prove to my wife that I'm going to make this DJing work.
Yeah.
Because I didn't go into full-time with a full-time amount of bookings.
Mm-hmm.
It was like I've got to use the time to create the website, the marketing, and all level up, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So the window cleaning business I sold for a lot of money
Nice.
about a year later. And again, even that was an opportunity. I was like, no one wants to go knocking on doors these days. So like I made a lot of money just by knocking on doors at 5 o'clock at night when I know everyone's eating dinner and they're going to be really annoyed at me knocking on their door, but they're probably going to say yes. So when I sold it, everyone wanted to buy it off me because everyone either wanted to increase their bookings for their window cleaning, or they wanted to start fresh, but they didn't want to do the hard graft.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that got sold. And then because I was able to prove to my wife that, we don't need that money now. And then I made the decision to quit Carphone Warehouse as well. And then it went full time, and then good old COVID come along. That have that.
Yeah.
But during COVID, like my experience during COVID was very different to a lot of people, because like first few days I was in a bad way because I felt I let my family down. I was very upset. I had all of these clients getting in contact with me asking for their money back and all that sort of stuff. So I was in a bad place. But shout out Mark Staples as well, because I will always forever be grateful for his presence during them first few days where I was in a bad situation. Mark lives around the corner. One day I got really upset, cried my eyes out, went for a walk. Who did I bump into? Mark Staples, who's a DJ, and he spent a couple of hours with me just chatting away, and I felt amazing afterwards. So shout out Mark.
Big up.
Then I basically got this attitude where I was like, because we only thought it was going to probably happen for a few months.
Yeah.
We were all going to be shut down.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if I'm going to create a successful business, I'm never going to get this opportunity again. So I thought, how can I take advantage of this time? And it was at that point I was like, you know what? I'm going to spend every minute of every day literally studying, collaborating, networking, getting to know everyone, literally doing all the things that you would struggle to do normally when you've got bookings. Now we've got as much time as we want. And then we just kept getting locked in for longer. And I just kept thinking to myself, oh my God, this is brilliant. Even more time I've got to, really take advantage of this. And I really look back at COVID and think to myself, like, I achieved so much. That is why I'm here now.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, I was visiting venues. I was just basically I was having meetings with no agenda, and I don't, what NAM is, don't you? No agenda meetings. Shout out Lee Smith.
Yeah, shout out to Lee Smith. That's Lee Smith's idea. Non-agenda meetings, they're the best.
Yeah, exactly, and just going for a walk with random wedding suppliers, just chatting with no agenda, just seeing what happens. And don't get me wrong, I met up with quite a few people. I just walked away and I just thought, there was nothing there. There's no reason for us. But there were some people who I met up with. They are probably some of the best relationships I still have now, because they're the people who literally we bounce off all the time. Oh yeah, during that COVID period, really where I sort of like took my business to the next level. And then from that moment, really, it just went from, how can I go from being a DJ to being an MC? So I take the MCing really seriously. I started MCing, many, many years before most people even thought about doing that sort of stuff, because I could see what they were doing in the States. And in the States, they do it all the time. And I was thinking, I need to do that. I want to do that. Another name drop as well, Ewan Bass, like he was one of the people I was going to with questions. He was MCing, and he done a little workshop, all that sort of stuff. So that really helped me, figure out what the steps I need to get to.
It's really interesting message about Ewan, because I talked with Ewan a lot as well. Ewan Bass, different to Ewan Lawrence. So just to get clear with guys, because there's two Ewans that we big up a lot. There's Ewan Lawrence, who's part of Titan Entertainment in Scotland, and then there's Ewan Bass, who's more down south side in Essex. So he was telling me that he used to have like an educational type program. So is this what you're talking about? Was he offering it then?
Yeah, so back then, before that, I was spending a bit of time, because Ewan lived in Stevenage, and, I was quite new to all the MCing and all that sort of stuff, and me and Ewan would meet up for coffees and that sort of stuff, and he would just be very open with me, and he'd answer every question I had, and it really, really helped. And I remember having a conversation one day about, like, what you provide me is very valuable, but I've never paid you a penny for that. And I will always appreciate that, because I wasn't in a position to pay lots of money back then.
For that type of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that's where I think we had like a brainstorming session one day in Cinebar in Stevenage, and literally he come up with this concept that he felt like what he'd done with me would work really well in like some kind of workshop. So we went and hired Stevenage Golf Club. And he put it out there, and he ended up getting, I think, about 15 people along, and we sat around a table the whole day, and it was really good, because he was like, for instance, one of the exercises he done was he put in like into this little bowl loads of like different scenarios, and you had to take one out, and I think I took one out, and it was like introducing the father of the bride's speech. So you had like half an hour to come up with a script to then present back to the whole room how you think you should introduce a speech, and then Ewan would then give you his feedback, and then you would slightly change things. And one of the ways I MC was something I learned on that workshop, which I still do now, and that is about mentioning how, for the wedding breakfast, about saying that this is going to be their first meal as a married couple, and that gets an ooh from all the guests, which takes the level up.
Correct.
For that part of the grand entrance. Yeah, definitely. Again, so if it weren't for that workshop, if it weren't for me networking with Ewan, and I look back, and I haven't done this, but if I looked back now at how I communicate with Ewan, I can tell you straight up what happened. He won the TWIR Awards for the East of England, and I went, I need to get to know that guy. And then I went, holy, this guy lives in the same town as me. And then he was going to Pro Mobile that year, and I was like, I need to go to Pro Mobile, because I need to tell this guy that we live like really close to each other. So I was like super excited about going to Pro Mobile and everything, and meeting this Ewan guy and all this sort of stuff. And then sadly, someone in my family died the night before Pro Mobile. Wow. So I had to make that decision not to go. Afterwards, still, I think I ended up messaging him and saying, look, we literally live like in the same town. Do you want to meet up for coffee? I was really nervous about sending that message, and he was like, absolutely, let's meet next week. And when I met him and everything, and I remember just little things like he went onto my website and he went straight away, you've literally speaking about you the whole time on this website. It's not about you, it's about the couple. All this copy on your website's rubbish. No one had said that to me.
Yeah.
All of my friends and family will go, this website's fantastic.
Amazing.
I hadn't actually gone and asked someone who works in the industry what my website was like. And he was like, it's rubbish. It's all about you. It's not about them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, right, now we're talking.
Nah, yeah, because now I'm getting feedback that I can actually do something with, innit?
Absolutely. And then I was like, I am going to stop asking my friends and family for advice and to review things and all this sort of stuff. Because don't get me wrong, very intelligent people, one particular person, very, very high up in Barclays Bank, would look at all of my wording, would change the grammar and all that sort of stuff. But actually, I needed someone within the industry. To say, this is what you need to do. So, yeah, he was the first person that really made me go, right, yeah, I need to start, leveling up now. And then from there, I went into TWIR. So the Wedding Industry Awards, straight away I thought to myself, for the Wedding Industry Awards, I'm not looking to win it, but if I can improve my business, that would be the bonus. So every time I entered TWIR, it was based on who won it last time, what do I need to do better to get up there? Or not so much who won it, but who got highly commended. Who are these people?
Who do I need to keep my eye on maybe to get some, like, of course, you need to look at the winners to sort of, to look at, okay, well, if this is one, maybe I need to do this. Let me look at what they're doing. Yeah, 100%. That's smart.
Yeah. And you know what? Look, I'll be the first to be honest and say, look, yeah, I went and stalked them people. I was on their websites. I was on their social media. I was mystery shopping them. I needed to know everything. I needed to know what I needed to do to become better.
Yes, correct.
And so I'm a very competitive person, okay? But ultimately I knew that if I got better, then my business will get better. I'm going to make more money. I'm going to get more bookings. So the award, I'm going to put that to the side. That's the bonus. But ultimately, if I can get better copy on my website, get better videos, have a better ethos, all that sort of stuff, if that's better, then everything just looks after itself.
Yes, yeah. The domino effect kicks in.
Now, again, being honest now, and this proves exactly that, right? So over the past 6 years, I've won East of England 4 times, and I won the national, for Wedding DJ of the Year national, right? Where are them trophies? Yeah, they're nowhere. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you where they are. They are I've got like a storage room in my house. They're in there in a box. Yeah, because the only time I really get them out is at open days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's, for me, that's not the important part. And the sad reality of that is, when I won a national, I sat back at the table.
I remember you told me, Mike. I remember.
Yeah, I sat back at my table, and actually it turned into a negative, because I thought, no, like, now what? Now what do I do? Because that was the thing that was making me keep improving my business.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it just become a little bit of a downer. And I didn't even want to be interviewed. So everyone gets interviewed after winning an award at the Wedding Industry Awards. I was out.
Seriously, you didn't tell me like that, you left.
Yeah.
I thought, so you didn't do the whole, you didn't do the behind the wall, because they've got the media wall, innit? And then you would do the thing.
Nah.
Wow.
So, isn't that mental?
That's crazy. And that's the nationals, man. That's the nationals.
But isn't that weird how, like, my mindset was more about keep pushing. And this is what's pushing me, And then to get to the final hurdle, complete the game, I'm like, now what?
So this is another thing, Mike, where I feel like we're so aligned in so many ways, because what you just mentioned there is what you love is the chase, Mike. It's the chase. It's not the winning. It's not the first place. It's not the winning. Is like, no, I need someone to chase. I need a chase. If I win and you've congratulations, you're like, no. I like to chase the congratulations, but I don't want it, because it's the running, it's the fixing, it's the leveling up. That's where the passion is. And it's the same for me. It's like when I was doing when I was talking to Dave on the last podcast about the game and loving the game so much, and I don't want to say the hustle, But that's part of it. It keeps this going. It keeps the brain ticking. How can I tweak? And when things get better, that's the up. Like you're saying, when you up the business, when you start improving that, met with you and the master of ceremonies, the speeching, then that is that bit, like that improving. That's what it sounds like to me. Listen to what you just said. That's where that's what you loved more.
1,000,000%.
Yeah.
You know more about me than I know about myself. So you're absolutely bang on. Yeah, but then so I went on a bit of a downer, and a few questions were asked from myself.
Okay.
And
What kind of questions, man?
like, what now? What now? And I was thinking, do I go down a different route? Do I go and change? Just learn something completely new? What do I do?
Yeah.
And then Damien from the wedding industry approached me about becoming a judge. And I think that was like the moment I just went, yeah, that's the next thing.
Next thing, yeah.
Yeah. And I was judged for the first time last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed going through all the different applications and all that sort of stuff, and really like digging deep into people's businesses. And the bit I suppose I struggled with the most, though, is that I couldn't give these people advice.
Because that's you.
Yeah.
That's another thing about you. You're very much like, if you see something's wrong or something could be improved, you'll drop your 2 pence in to be helpful. Do you know what I mean? So when you're seeing all these things, you're like, I want to help this guy. Like, he just needs this, he just needs that. If you could just add that, but you can't do that as a judge.
No, that's right. But look, we're not given a rule book of what we can do and what we can't do as a judge. But you've still got to be, impartial. You've still got to think about what's right and wrong. And for me, again, I'm going to try to be honest as possible here on this podcast. I was hoping that I could go through all these applications and pick up ideas myself. That was probably the proudest moment for me, when I actually realised why I won, because, I was looking at these applications and going, that's a bit naff. Really? Is that really your process for getting bookings? And even some of the people that, either won or got highly commended, I look at their businesses and think, wow, they're miles away from what I achieved when I won.
Yeah.
So for me, that was the reality check, when I thought, I actually can't learn anything from any of these. I really thought I was going to find some golden nuggets.
Yeah, some different things. I'm like, oh, wow, I can add that, and I can add that, but no.
Yeah, and it just felt like, I'm going to sound like can I swear?
Yes, of course you can.
I'm going to sound like a knob now, yeah? But I felt like the applications were 2 years behind me. A lot of the things were being shouted about last year. I felt, Jesus Christ, I was doing that years ago.
Yeah, that's not new, bro. That's not.
Yeah, are we talking about that still?
Yeah.
That's like, why are we talking about, foamy glow sticks? Like, Jesus Christ, that's been happening for years and years and years now, So, yeah, for me, it's about, what do we do? What do people do different? But I'm sure we're going to come on to Twitter anyway.
Yes, we will do for sure.
Yeah, so that's where I got to. And then, for me, a lot of people, including yourself, you're always challenging me onto the amount of weddings I do.
Just quickly pause. Pause, man. Let me just have 2 minutes. Guys, all-day weddings. You lot saw the post that I put up on the Mobile DJ Mastery about how it is to DJ 3 gigs in a row when you're 20, and how it is to do it when you're 40, 30, and how it is to do it when you're 40, and how it is to do it when you're 50 and you're out. You're literally dead. I put that up for jokes and banter, and you lot loved it, yeah? But one of the guys I was thinking about is Mike. Mike does... Bro, I don't know anyone who does more back-to-back weddings. And this is the thing. It's not evenings. Back-to-back evenings is different. But when you're doing full-day weddings, all day, guys, this is like you're getting to the venue sometimes 11:30, 11 o'clock, maybe 10, depending on what's going on, 12 o'clock. You're getting up there extra too early to set up. You're doing the ceremony, the drinks reception, the wedding breakfast, then the evening, and giving them energy, and then doing the same again, and then again. Mike, I don't know how you add that, bruv. Yeah, you're on the next level with this back-to-back gigs, bruv. It's too much, Max. Too much, bruv.
Yeah, I do a lot. I think my record is not this August, last August, 2024. I done 27 weddings in 31
That's
days.
crazy. That was all of August, didn't it? You was just basically every day.
It was. It really, really was. And they wasn't all day. They wasn't all dayers, but there was a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
And I would say about 70% of them were all dayers. And yeah, do you know what though? Like, I do. You get the best out of me.
Mm.
You know, you really when I'm on one, if I'm doing 5, 6, 7 in a row, whatever, most people would think I'll be like knackered by like number 4, but I am like, don't know, the adrenaline takes over, and I'm just, and
He's on
you know,
fire. You know, like, he's just
yeah,
going for it.
you know, Mandela. I don't know if we're going to touch on this or not, but you know, there's a lot of. Is that your phone going off?
Yeah, it is, but they have to. We're in deep conversation. We're in deep conversation.
They're in deep conversation. So I am a bit of an advocate for being healthy and all that sort of stuff. So I suppose I've worked out a bit of a routine that I need to do to be able to perform on a high number of weddings. So there's a lot of stretching involved. There's a lot of supplements involved. There's a lot of gym sessions involved. All that sort of stuff. It's a game changer. What you eat before, after, during is I never realised
How
until
important it is, yeah.
I tracked it. My energy levels and my moods and all that sort of stuff all come down to what I ate. You know. So, but don't get me wrong. As soon as there's a sweet table at a wedding, I'm there.
Yeah, you're
I don't
first man
care.
in.
So yeah, the amount of weddings I do for me is like it's an incredible achievement to think that I had that many inquiries and that many bookings and that many trust reviews, all that sort of stuff, and the relationships. I love our job is amazing purely because I just create the most amazing relationships with my couples. And I don't have loads of friends, certainly outside the wedding industry. You know, I have a very, very small number of
Oh,
friends.
yeah, tight knit.
But my couples, although, you know, look, I'm not cheesy enough to say, oh, they've become friends. You know, there are people I've met up with and actually created really good relationships, you know, over the years. That's not every wedding. I wouldn't say that's
of course, because that's
probably
impossible.
1 in 30 weddings. Don't know where it is, but there's a connection. We end up meeting for coffee, and you know, there's all kinds of. You know, one of my couples, he was a PT at a gym. We end up going to the gym all the time with each other and all this sort of stuff. But how awesome is to have a job where you can your clients you can just get to know and you feel part of it. And, do you know, one of the best messages that I ever got was from a bride. It was last month, and she messaged me in the morning, 8 o'clock the next morning after her wedding. And the message basically said something along the lines, it isn't exact it, but something along the lines of, like, you would think this morning I'd be really, really happy with my wedding. But she said, I'm actually really sad. She goes, because I've built up relationships with suppliers over the last 2 years that I'm never going to get to speak to or see again.
Yeah.
And I was like, mic drop. You know, that was powerful stuff.
Very powerful.
How true is that?
That's very true.
We, you know, as wedding industry suppliers, we think about the relationships we build. Well, you think from a client's point of view.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, they're never going to be open and honest, but that bride was. And she said, like, I feel gutted that I'm not going to get to chat with you again and, you know, meet up for these coffees and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? But that is a testament to me that
That's a massive
don't just
testament,
do.
right?
Yeah, I don't just do emails and phone calls with my clients. You know, we do meet up, and it's all, you know, I get to know them because I think that's a really important part of it. So yeah, I'm waffling now a bit.
No, it's all good stuff.
I would say, yeah, no, honestly, I suppose the last thing for me really about what I've achieved is just how I keep up to date with all of the different elements of technology, AI. So I'm very present. I want to learn. I'm obsessed with learning. I hated school, but now I want to learn everything.
I know, bro. This is why I think school, I think school missed the trick, like, because with school, it was forced learning. There were sometimes we're doing things we have no interest in, but imagine even now, if someone's like, you have to learn about how cement is made. You have to learn about it. And you're like, cement? But when it's something that you have a passion to,
Yeah.
it's exciting. Like we were saying, Mike, the amount of audiobooks we send each other. We're both reading a book right now. We're going to quickly mention it because we're going to be very transparent on this episode. Go on, Mike, show them.
I've got it. I'll show you this book here. It's called The Let Them Theory.
All right, guys, Mike is obsessed with this book. He was like, man, you have to get it. You have to get it. Every time I talk to him, no, but it's his point, yeah, and it's in the book. I'm like, Mike, every time. No, but there's this thing I was thinking about, and actually it refers into the let them theory, and to the point I had to get the book. Like I had to get the book. But we do these things where we share audio books with each other. We share books, knowledge. Little bits of learning, gems, nuggets. And guys, one of the massive reasons why I've brought Mike on today is the DJ network is so if you guys see the success that I'm achieving right now, you might be like, oh, Jesus Christ. It doesn't all come from here. You need to have external sources feeding into your mental pot. Mental, spiritual, physical, however you want to, whatever realm you're in, you need people that check for you, care for you, invested in that. And that's what me and Matt do with each other a lot. We align along with the same things. We love to learn about the things that we enjoy, and we love to get better at what we do. And it's the same thing, like when you was talking about just then about the chase, all I could hear was me. I was like, yeah, the chase is something that I fully love. So I want to get into some more stuff because there's so much. Mike, this is definitely going to be a 2 episode. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, we're not going to get, it might even be 3. We're not going to get through, and I don't want to rush neither. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to rush. So I'm going to say it now. Episode 2 coming soon. But anyway, one of the things that I've learned from Mike, and these things you won't see, guys, because you got to remember, when it comes to the outset, there's a lot of things you can go on someone's website, you can see, you can go onto their Instagram and you can see, because that's public. But there's some things that isn't public. And I remember, Mike, when I didn't get the Toy Award that I wanted, similar to yourself, well, for the first 2 days, I was bitter, I was gutted, I was like, oh man, like everyone's telling me I'm this, and I thought I was this, but it turns out that I'm not this. And I was getting into my own head. But one thing I did thought I could look at is the back of my business, because the front of my business is good and it performs well. But what back end stuff could I start be looking at? And one thing that you see, if you look into the corner of Mike's screen, I know you guys have been seeing, out of all my guests, no one has a branded screen. But when Mike comes on, Mike's got a branded screen. So one of the things I think has and really when I talk about converting my bookings on a high ratio is the OBS thing that you taught me about, Mike, and how to do like the presentations. And it's those background things, similar to when you was talking about you and Bass. Because when you're talking about you and Bass, I see as what you and Bass was to you, that's what you are for me. Does that make sense? When you were saying some things and you went to meet up with him, it's the same like when I came to meet up with you. So when I met Mike at the Pro Mobile, I said I'll come up and see you. I'll come to you. I'll make it easy for you. And I just wanted to kind of have a look at my business and can you see if there's and this is before I entered the awards. So this is before the awards. This is just me trying to do better at my service because I look at what he does and I loved what he does. Can he have a look at see what I do? Yeah, man, he looked at my website, he looked at a couple of things, and he ripped it to pieces. But at the same time, some of it needed to be ripped, and some of it needed to be ripped. So that's why I wanted to mention some of the stuff that they don't get to see, because with your OBS, Mike, the things that you do, your back end of your business, I think is, if there's someone out there doing it better than that, then... So, do you mind mentioning a few points about the back end of your business, like the OBS? Let's quickly have a quick chat about that.
Yeah, there's a couple of points here, but OBS, so if anyone doesn't know, so OBS is a free platform that basically a lot of streamers use it, a lot of YouTubers use it, and it just makes your screen a lot more interacting, a lot more eye-catching. And I was on YouTube one day, I spend a lot of time on YouTube, and I just come across... Yeah, man. I come across a guy that was teaching people how to level up their Zoom calls. A small little story. So I was talking to a couple one day, and I always start off my Zoom calls with couples by saying, look, this is probably the first time you've ever spoken to a wedding DJ before. Don't worry, sit back. I'll lead this conversation. But if you do have any questions, just interrupt me, tell me to zip it. You can ask as many questions as you like. I always start off with that. Well, this one particular couple stopped me and went, actually, we've spoken to 3 other DJs. "Oh, that hurt." I was like,
Fourth in the list.
"That really hurt." Fourth on the list, like how dare? And I was going through what I do with them, and at the end, the guy stopped me and he said to me, and I wasn't using OBS at this time. I was just using like a slideshow on Keynote. And he said to me, "This was by far the most engaging Zoom call we've had." So now that was a nice little pump, yeah. But me being me, I love a pump, but I also like to dig deep. So my follow-up question was, why?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Oh, you showing pictures." And basically what it is, I show the pictures from each part of the day, as if it was a timeline. This is what happens each part of the day, and this is how I'm involved. And he said, "I loved all the pictures. It's like we were putting ourselves in them scenarios. A lot of the pictures are relevant to the venue we'd chosen, because I had different slideshows for different venues." And he said, the other DJs I spoke to, he said one particular DJ joined us on Zoom and went, "So, how can I help?"
That's the worst.
Yeah, and I was like, "Wow, really?" And he said, "Yeah." He's like, he put it all on us to present to him.
Mm.
And he said that was interesting. And then he said another one done a Zoom call, and he said he was literally in a pub on his phone, and he said it's really hard to hear him. And I was like, wow. Now, I ended up finding out who that DJ was, and it did not surprise me in the least.
Jeez, that's lazy,
and I was
man.
like,
that is lazy, man.
Lazy. Yeah,
sometimes, sorry to pause you, but sometimes you don't understand like what others are doing. Like, guys, I hope if you're hearing this, yeah, first of all, those two guys Matt just mentioned, you cannot be those two people. You cannot let a Zoom call just be led by the clients. And you need to be, I don't mind my clients being at the pub. If they want to be at the pub, that's for them, because they're the clients. I'm the service provider. So at the pub, imagine that. Yeah, what do you want to know? Yeah. Little Fosters.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, carry on, Matt.
Definitely.
Yeah, go on. That's crazy.
That's all right. And then the third one they had was from a DJ I knew, and they said it was really good.
Okay. Nice.
So then I had the audacity to ask why I was the fourth DJ to speak to, and they said price.
Okay.
But what we've discovered is
you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
Yes. Oh, that's brilliant. That's fantastic.
And I just, for me, that was the mic drop moment when I just thought, first impressions.
Yeah.
Is
everything.
I know lots of people say first impressions is so important, all this sort of stuff, right? But I used to consider like website being your first impression, Instagram being first impression, but actually first impression, human to human, is actually probably the most powerful thing. Mm-hmm. And that was at the point where I went, there are going to be people who are going to be doing better than I am with my slideshow on Keynote. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what can I do to level up? So going back to that YouTube, so I found this guy who spoke about how you can level up your Zoom calls. His was all about presentations and webinars and all that sort of stuff. And I sat there, and it was like, I think it was really late at night, and I couldn't sleep that night because my head just went like, oh, I can play music, like I can have slideshows, I can have videos, I can have
text,
like, I can get my phone to appear on the screen. No, this is game changer. So and then so I went away, I learned it all, and I then started implementing this OBS into a lot of my Zoom presentations. And my couples were literally just sitting there, and you can just tell when you watch them, they're just like, I'm not saying their mouths are like open, like,
but it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
You can tell because they've got like this grin on their face, and they've got this like that. You can see them getting excited. You can see them wanting to talk and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just the interaction on the screen, and the videos are popping up, the photos are popping up, and then you can see my phone, and then I always play music to them. I always give them a little bit of a sample of what we can do and all this sort of stuff. And then I remember so. There's only, I think I'm right in saying this, there's only two people who have seen my presentation that are not clients. You're one of them, and Kelly Mortimer is the other person.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Kelly Mortimer. And both of you were like, wow, like I can see why people book you. And yeah, and like, who are the two people I look up to most? Yourself and Kelly Mortimer. So for me, that was, but my mindset, the way my brain works, does not just stop there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now what?
Yeah.
Because people will at
Just
some
like the
point
awards.
start doing
Now
what I do.
Now what?
Yeah, now what? So you know, over the past 3-4 months, it's very been top of my list to have a bit of a refresh and maybe consider moving to a different platform that can take it even further.
Really?
Yeah, man, I've got some incredible ideas that I want to implement into my presentations to really get really good interactions. Like, if you can imagine, like, get there a way where a couple can tell me how they're feeling while I'm talking by them pressing a button or something like that. Imagine if you, every time I play the song, so if I'm playing a load of songs to them and all they knew is they just had to press, like, I don't know, a space bar, and it just gives like a thumbs up or something like that. Or if they didn't like that song, they'd, you know, press another key and it'd be thumbs down. Just have that interaction. And, you know, some people might look at that and go, oh, so that's really geeky and a bit over the top and all
it's
that.
like
So
a game.
actually,
It's different.
it's about
interactive.
it's about standing out for me. You know, it's about the experience. And if I can create that experience just in a Zoom call, can you imagine what they're thinking I can do at their wedding? And that's where I've got to back myself, because if I'm going to do this amazing Zoom presentation, I then need to be top of my game at their wedding, because it has to be aligned.
Yes, correct.
There's no way it can be arrows pointing in different directions. Yeah, and some of the best compliments I've got are the people that say to me, you know, Mike, you promised you was going to do X, Y, and Z, and do you know what? You followed through that and you excelled. And for me, that's so important to me. I'm so conscious of that. I'm so conscious that, you know, if I tell them I'm going to take their wedding to the next level that they won't even realise they're going to get, I've got to make sure that happens. And if I can do that, then all I think to myself is, it's not just the couple that's going to love it and be buzzing. There's going to be guests thinking, I wish I'd done this at my wedding.
Yes, correct.
And there's guests going to be thinking, can we do this at our wedding? Can we get permission to hire this guy for our wedding? Even though, you know, that's my best friend or that's my sister, you know, are we going to upset them by having Mike at our wedding? And then you look at it from a venue's point of view. And the venue sees something they've never experienced before. Well, they're going to then be judging all the other MCs, DJs.
Yeah, correct.
That they're going to see after
100,
that.
100.
And who are they going to want to recommend to their couples? Are they going to want to recommend the guy, you know, who stands in the same spot talking on the mic during the day, or is using an iPad throughout the day, you know, or is, you know, believe it or not, I've only seen this recently. Someone was using an iPad and a tiny little speaker next to them. That's how they were doing the grand entrances and all that sort of stuff.
I'm talking about, man. So I'm talking about. I hear things. I'm like, my mind's like, there's no way that's happening. It's like, no, brothers, that's what's going on. I'm like,
no, but the small little speaker was a good speaker.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, but for me, that comes across as you are taking shortcuts to make it easier for you during the day. This is someone's wedding day. You need a good setup to show professionalism that 100%. You invested into this wedding. Just using an iPad and a speaker and a microphone, it's not good enough. You know, even though that speaker might be amazing, you might have the best microphone, you've got a really expensive iPad, but that's not good enough. That really isn't good enough. So all them different things, you know, that starts from the initial OBS, that experience is only going to push you as the business owner, as the entrepreneur, you know, to go, right, if I'm going to do this, then I know, you know, I've got to excel from this moment. So every email they get from me onwards can't just be a standard email. You know, every interaction I have with them, my meeting a month before their wedding, it can't be dull. It needs to be exactly what I set out to do at the start. Yeah, that's, for me, that's what can take you from being a 6, 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. And I see, like, with you, even in what you're saying, like, everything you want to improve. So, like you're saying, like, because you're sales call is 10:10. Like my sales call is like your one's advanced. Like I'm still early, so I'm using mine in beta mode. But even in beta mode, the outcomes I'm getting, exactly what you said, those reactions I get. And I like, so, you know, my meetings I usually say seeing back an hour, 45 minutes or something like that. And for the first time, I'm just talking to him, asking him questions, I'm talking to him, I'm taking data, I'm taking notes. And I don't bring the OBS out until almost like over halfway through the meeting. So they just think, okay, general. And I say, all right, guys, it's time to get into it. Do you know what I mean? And then I start, and then I see them, they're always like, ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm like, we can look at things. We can look at everything now. So I'm going to explain it to you, but I want you to see it too. So while they're watching, I'm explaining it, and then both of them are like, ooh. They're all up in the camera, or all up in the iPad or the phone, like, or the laptop, watching what it is that that I've been able to show them. But I see with you now, you're looking to move to another OBS. Your meetings, you're always pushing, man. Even though you're already operating at quite a high level, you're still. It's like there's no satisfaction, if that makes any sense. And I know that might sound crazy, but just to pull it into perspective, all the top companies, that's how they roll. Amazon, Google, Tesla, Coke, Apple. That's how. They don't stop. They keep on. Google was probably one of the best ones to innovation. Always innovate. There's no brand that can what Google are doing, but they'll keep doing it. Like ChatGPT, there's DeepThink. Google have like 10 different AI. They're like, no, we're not just doing Genie. No. We're doing video editing. We're doing this. We're doing that one. They are, and that's the same like yourself, just more. Just more.
It gives me a rush. I generally get a rush from it. You know, nothing better than coming across something you go, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. And then you start looking into it and you're like, oh my God. And Jesus Christ, you know, from all the voice notes you get from me, some of the things I've created with AI to make my processes quicker, more efficient and better. Mm-hmm. And just by getting AI, and I get the most incredible satisfaction that I've done something that other people aren't doing, and it's made my job so much easier.
So much more easier.
Yeah, and then people will receive something from me and they're like, that's brilliant that you like just. I mean, I always email the venue, the photographers, the videographers a week before a wedding to give them access to my plan. Yeah, so they're very transparent. This is what I'm going to be doing. I don't want to be going up to anyone on a wedding day saying, "Hi, I'm Mike." Yeah, I want to do that a week before the wedding, so you know exactly what to expect from me, and then to be able to turn around and say, actually, that's not right. You need to. That timing's wrong, which does happen. Yeah, that's it. So. But what most people don't realise is what they've received from me is what I've built via AI for AI to create that, so I can then send on. And for me, that's a game changer on its own, because that's taking a task from being 2 hours long of sorting and creating and all that sort of stuff to now 30 minutes long. So suddenly, you know, I've got more time to spend with family or work on a business or network and send you voice notes and all that sort of stuff.
Do you know what, actually, Mike? That brings me straight into the next part I did want to mention, because once again, like, guys, anyway, I'm going to keep saying it. This is why you need to find yourself. There was one guy, I'm not going to mention his name. He's abroad. He used to be UK. He's abroad. He listened to this podcast a lot, so I know he's going to hear this message. He mentioned about DJ Network, and he listened to the episode, and then he messaged me directly and was like, bruv, come on, let's be honest. Like, DJs don't want to help other DJs. Like, that doesn't want to happen. Let's just, like, I know it sounds good for the pod, but let's be honest. And I said, no, I disagree. And more reason why I wanted to bring you on, Mike, to show this is 100% real. Like, the DJ Network stems deep. You need to have other DJs that you can work with in some shape or form. And it doesn't just have to be music. It doesn't just have to be, it can be lots of different elements of your business that will improve you as an individual, which will then help everything else rocket on. So ChatGPT, sorry, go on, Mike. I can see you're going to say something. Go, shoot.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and I don't want to butt in and change what your plan is to do here, but I thought about, why don't we just quickly just go through maybe just headlines. We don't have to go into too much detail. Okay. What are some of the things we have shared with each other to implement that has been successful?
Okay, so I'm going to go on to the next one because it still plans into what we were just going to say. AI. Okay. So AI, for me, is one of those subjects that I listen to it. I know I need to get involved in it. And I know a lot of people can relate with me what I'm about to say. I know I need to get involved in it. My head's not really in there. I don't get it as much as maybe I should. I'm not the most technical person ever. So AI was one thing. And you are like, AI and you are married as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean? Like, you lot are in the deepest relationship. But that helps me, Mike. Do you know what I mean? Like, even recently, you've got me to pay for my GPT. You're helping me create GPTs. I didn't even know what this meant, or it didn't even make any sense. But now I've got little things that work for me with how we've put in the prompts and the things that it does. And, you know, we're trying to train GPTs to help us streamline businesses and help us with ideas and all those different kind of things. So you've got another head to bounce off in an AI format. So for me, one of the major ones I will definitely start the game is AI, man. That is a lot of things I use it for, whether it's ideas, whether it's look at my text, whether it's, you know, help me create this, or like I said, like we're making the GPT so it can help me with something that I've already done. Here's the data, you use this, now create this using this. And I'm like, oh, look at what it's made. Like, oh, snap. Now I look like the professional guy. Do you know what I mean? So the first one I'll say is AI, 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna throw in the selfie station.
Oh, yes. So the selfie station, how did we come about? Yeah, you told me about it when you got it from Dave.
Yeah, it was like 1,200 quid, and I was like, I think I could make money out of this. So yeah, it literally was just a case of Dave, who you've had on the podcast, he was having them manufactured and was selling them. I bought one, and every client wanted it at a wedding, and I hired it out for 400 quid. And I said to you, you know, honestly, and I remember I sent you a screenshot of all the bookings.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell? And you done the smart one, Mike. Wait, we're missing the thing. You done the smart one where you were selling it before you even had the stuff. So you was advertising it out. So
basically what I'd done, it very, very lengthy process, but it was a game changer, is I went and WhatsApped every single couple that had a wedding with me for the foreseeable future. They got a WhatsApp from me saying, this is what I've purchased, you can have it for half price if you pay up front. So everyone was throwing these was throwing these 200 quids at me.
The money was more than the 200.
No, do you know what? I actually don't think it was 200 quid. I think it was 275. Yeah, 275. And so all these 275 quids are being thrown at me into my bank account, and I well over.
Yeah, easy. Before it's even worked. Before it's even smart business. Smart.
And I said to you about it. You went and got one and replicated the same system, and I was buzzing just for you because, you know, even just being able to share each other what we were charging, how we were doing it, and all that sort of stuff. And so yeah, that was a really good one. I need to just touch on the expo. So we went to the expo. Was it last year? I think it was last year, wasn't it? The photo booth expo.
No, I think it was this year. Early this year.
No, it wasn't this year.
Well, it must have been, because then that means that they've missed it this year. But was it this year? No, it was this year.
Do you know what?
It feels like time's flying. It feels like time's flying. But no, yeah. 2025, I think it was.
So we're decided to, you know, meet up, go in it together. Oh, mate, you drove me crazy. You literally drove me crazy. Like, I'm one of them guys, right? If I go anywhere like that, I just want to have a little walk round, have a little snoop, maybe look at some equipment. I don't get too excited over equipment. I just want to just chill, go grab a coffee, anyone I know, have a little chat with. What I wasn't expecting was to turn up with you and just get every 5 minutes someone was stopping you to say hi. And it was like, it reminded me of going shopping with my parents when I was younger.
And they knew everyone in the area.
Yeah, you have to go, and it should only take an hour, and you're there for 2 hours because mum keeps stopping and chatting to everyone. And I remember, you will remember this, I remember going into the main hall with you, and I was like, I'm done. I'm so done. I can't do this. I literally just left you for about, I went and ended up speaking to Alan Berg for about an hour. Yeah, literally for about an hour, because, and I was with him for like actually probably more than an hour. I went back and you'd taken about 5 steps.
Literally.
I was like, I can't do this. I can't keep up. But that was a massive lesson though for me because, again, the year before, I'd won the Wedding Industry National.
Yeah.
But no one knew that.
Yeah.
Now, am I expecting people to come over and go, oh, you're that guy? Absolutely bloody not. No way. That doesn't happen. Yeah. But it did make me go, actually, I probably do need to, get myself out there more on rather than a local side. I need to do it more nationally.
Yes.
And probably be more open to talking with people because, as I've said to you quite a few times, I do have a wall, and I always feel like before I'm happy to spend time with a person, I need to make sure that we're similar. Yeah, we have things in common. If we don't have anything in common, I find it really hard to have small talk and keep that conversation going. But that day, you taught me that some of the people coming up to you were probably, people you wouldn't spend, time with, but you was more than happy to stand there, chat with them, ask them how they are and all that sort, and then move on. And that's the bit I really struggle with, is being able to just end that conversation and crack on.
Yeah.
Keep it moving, because I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person to say, okay, I'm going to crack on. Because I just think that's like, it's a little bit cringe, isn't it? But and very awkward as well. So yeah, you taught me a lot of that expo, and I definitely come away from that expo thinking to myself that it's definitely time for reflection when it comes to that sort of stuff.
Massive.
So
a massive with the expo stuff. It's like, because I look at it as like, even this Mike, the community is growing every single week. Every single week the community is growing, and there's people that are listening to us now, and some of them we might not never bump into or we might never see. But if I do, I look at it as like, if I can, I want to spend time with every single listener, whether it's to listen to feedback, whether it's to listen to something or to help or do some sort of something like that. And then when I see them in real time, and they, like at the expos and stuff, then that's when I'll definitely give them that 5 minutes or whatever it is, because I think it's important. The worstest thing is, for me, I always remember, I'm not going to mention the name, but there was a celebrity that I used to look up to and never met for years. And then one time I did an event in a club in Essex. This is years ago, and yep, it's a good night. We've got a good guest list, whatever. So he's invited some of these people down. So I remember I'm coming to my night. This is my night. But we had a deal where we split the VIP. So some of the tables I would have for me, and some of the tables the owner would have for some of his prestige guests and stuff like this, right? So I come into the VIP and I see this guy, and I'm like, oh my days, like that's this guy. And then I've gone over to him to give him the biggest, like, bro, man, like, oh, I can't believe you're here. Like, I can't even believe you're here. And tell him how much. And the way he dissed me, the way he parred me off, I said, and I was like, bro, I've looked up to you for solid 8, 9, 10 years. This right now is a special, for me. For you, it's nothing. But for me, you are like, wow. And the way he parred me to one side, and the taste it left in my mouth, and I was remembering to myself, I'm like, if anyone spends time on your social media, your podcast, your anything, and they come to say hello to you, greet those people properly. Don't be like this guy. And that, I always remember that guy. And I'm like, I never want to be that guy, because man. And I still see him now. He's always on TV, comes up with new movies, new stuff. And I'm like, you're a see you next Tuesday, bruv. I remember that day. Afterwards, when he found out who I was, he done the whole, yo, bro. And I said, nah, bro, you have showed me your hand. Like, nah, you have your fun tonight, whatever, do your thing, you and your boys, but nah. You're lucky that he's in here, because I would have been like, nah, you're out. I don't give a damn what movie, I don't care what albums. You can, security, all of them lot, out. But yeah, I never wanted to be that guy. So that's the reason why I always give these people.
And that was very, very clear when we was at the expo as well. So, you know, exactly what you're saying is exactly what you do. And fair play. That was, it was very impressive. Even though it was a pain in the butt on the day for me.
Do you know one thing I would have mentioned, Mike? That is help. Like, for me, some people have noticed, some people haven't. So me, you, and Scott Jewin, we've got a group, our fitness group, and we all hold each other accountable for our gym goals. That there is nothing to do with business. It's nothing to do with music. But like I was telling the guys earlier, spiritual, physical, mental, we hit all points. And that physical element, man. Me, I like literally, like I've dropped sizes in clothes. Like, just so you guys know, we have a group where if any three of us don't go gym, and I think we did say it was all free, but I swear it's just if you miss one out of you must go 3 times a week. If you miss one, £90 fine. 90 each. That has made it so I have never paid that £90 fine. But what's happened is that for, what is it now? What, Mike, 5 months? 5 months?
We are in our 5th month. No, we're in our 6th month.
6 months.
September is a 6th month. Yeah.
6 months, boy. I have not missed free time, even when we're abroad, even when we're away. There's no excuse. Doesn't matter if you go on holiday with your kids. Doesn't matter if you book a hotel with no gym. That's a you problem. if you're out in the woods, you can do fun. You can find something. You can do something, and we've all done it. For me, Mike. For me, like my physical, I've been battling with for years. This isn't something that is just. This is a problem that's been with me for years, and being able to have this group and being able to be held accountable so we stick to our goals. And now I can't see a life without gym. If I don't go gym 3 or 4 times, if I don't go gym for 3 or 4 days, my body will tell me, we need to go. That for me is one of the strongest, because that helps me with my family. It helps me with my fitness. It helps me with how I move. It helps me with the events. It helps me with so much more than just, and also mental, because you know sometimes, like we said, we get that head. I call it head traffic, when you got all these things. You got to do this social media. You got to do that. You got to do that. Your clients. But you can go to the gym sometimes in the morning and leave, and then that voice is not there as much no more. You're like, I feel a bit more relaxed. I feel my brain's working, because sometimes the fitness can help with that. So for me, that's one of the most, like, very, 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 very powerful thing.
Yeah, I can replicate everything you just said. What I will also say is, like, as DJs, a lot of us complain about our feet and our legs, because we are standing in the same position for 4 hours, and we all buy these anti-fatigue mats that we stand on, and actually that's just like a plaster over the crack. Yeah. And since going to the gym, like right now, you know, I can't remember the last time my feet really hurt me.
Same.
And if someone told me that a few years ago, I would have probably given it a try, but no one did. As far as I'm concerned, the only way to be more comfortable when you're DJing is to wear trainers and buy an anti-fatigue mat. Well, really, you know, for me, that looking back now, that's a red flag, because that's just making it more comfortable rather than trying to, like, fix the issue.
Fix the problem.
And for me,
correct.
It was very, very clear that my hamstrings and my calves needed to be worked on. And I'm now at the situation where I'm not coming home and going, oh my God, my feet are burning and my arches are really sore. Even like, I've got foot massagers, I've got these compression trousers. I haven't used none of that for months. And I used to, I've got a mat, with loads of needles.
Yeah, the little spike mat. I remember you were showing it to Scott.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Haven't used that, Jesus Christ, for about 4 months. I was using that every single day.
Sick.
You
so
know,
it just shows you, innit?
It does. So there's so many things, you know, that, look, would I have gone to the gym 3 times a week for the last 6 months? Absolutely not. I don't think I've ever done it. In the history of Mike Reddens, I've never done that. Never ever done that. You know, I've always found that excuse. I don't know if you're the same, but first thing, 100%. when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that goes into my head is, don't go to the gym. You know, don't go to the gym. Don't go to the gym. You don't need to go to the gym, you know. But fighting through that, getting to the gym, doing it, having to take a photo of myself at the gym to put in our little WhatsApp group to prove you're there.
Prove you're there, no mucking about.
Yeah. That's a massive. So, again, and I think I come up with the idea, and I only come up with the idea because Stephen Bartlett spoke about on his podcast. He does exactly the same thing. So I hope that there's people listening to this who can look at this idea and try and implement that.
100%.
Doesn't have to be 3 people, doesn't have to be 10 people, it could be just 2 people.
Just 2 people.
Yeah. Just put a bit of accountability there. Do something you don't want to do. I want to give £90 to you, Mandler? Absolutely not. Do you want to give £90 to Scott? Absolutely not. Yeah?
He said, nah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. And it's Amazon vouchers as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we worked out that maybe that could be an expense, but we don't need to go down that route because we're all going to the gym.
We're all going to the gym, so to the point, no one's even taking those L's. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, now if there's one thing, and this is me being totally honest, guys, if there's one thing you take from this podcast, is this what we're talking about now? Because like Mike was saying, we work antisocial hours. We are eating sometimes. If we're just in there in the evening, we're eating fried food, we're eating processed food, we're doing all these things. Some people are drinking, some people are not. But if you're doing all those things and you're not taking of your physical, this job is very, very physically demanding. So do something. And I think having an accountability club with a financial something tied in that will make you go, regardless, in 6 months from now, you will be the same where you don't need an anti-fatigue mat. You don't need any of those things. Like even me, myself, man, I did 4 days back to back. 2 of them were full days and 2 of them were with the evenings. I remember with my last one, I was getting cramps. I was getting like shooting cramps in my leg while in bed and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because you're working your body. And I was scared about last month. There was a couple of them last month. And I was thinking, man, I'm going to get those shooting pains. I'm going to get those things. Nothing, Mike. Nothing, bro. There was nothing. There was no cramps, no shooting, nothing. It was just, get up, crack on the next day.
I haven't even realised that until now. I can't remember last time I got cramp from like going down low to like do all my plugs and all my cables, getting underneath the booth. I used to get cramp quite a lot doing that. I haven't had cramp in ages. Didn't even.
Look, it's left your mind. It's left your mind.
Yeah.
What crap? So for me,
nothing more embarrassing when someone's like, on my leg.
Yeah, and you just went down and got up, like nothing's going on. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, man. Now I think if there's anything anyone takes from this, and another thing, I don't care how old you are. There's some people that are 20, they might think I don't need it. No. If I could start doing this from when I was 20, I would have taken this and ran with it all the way up until now. If doesn't matter what age you are, 20, 30, 40, 50. Gym, some sort of physical activity, but I would definitely promote gym over. Some people say walking, but I would just promote gym because I just see that's kind of what's worked for us, Mike. So yeah, sorry, we spoke about that gym thing for quite some time. Sorry, let's go on to another.
That's all right. Should we talk about Level Up Live?
Yes. All right, so guys, as you've probably seen, we have the event that we are doing, Level Up Live, and as we've been speaking very openly, Mike, we've been very open on this podcast episode today. Like I think even myself, I think this is the most vulnerable I've been. But anyway, let's talk about Level Up Live. Level Up Live, guys, 22nd of February 2026. You've seen it, you've heard about it, and me, Mike, and we've got Dan are the team that are putting this together. I could only get people involved in it that have the same ethos, that have the same drive, that want to push for more, to make sure that all of you guys, this event and forward events, are going to get the maximum benefits out of it. And I know it's going to be one of those days that transform the way your business moves. There's going to be a lot of nuggets, a lot of pickups, a lot of tips, actionable tips, not just something that you can hear and be like, oh, that sounds cool. No, actionable things that you can apply to your business to make sure that your 2026 is looking 10 times better than it is now. So, Mike, let's talk about Level Up Live. Where should we start?
Well, I want to start by just saying as well, like during the day itself, I think it's so important for people to understand that, when we're talking about things on the day, that they are going to be proven subjects. We aren't just going to be talking about, subjects that we've studied and we're sharing knowledge. We want to share experiences. We want to share like the how-tos. We want to be able to, I think you'll agree with me, I want anyone to be able to go away and go, I'm going to do that and I know how to do that.
Yes.
I want to level up, so this is what I'm going to do, because we've given you enough to go away and do that. And 99% of what we're going to be sharing with everyone is stuff what we've implemented into our own businesses that have been successful.
Correct.
And trust me, we have got that process wrong probably 10, 15,
Many
20 times before
Many
we got it right. Yeah. So we are, with some of the stuff we're going to be sharing, you know, you're leapfrogging over them steps that we failed at to get to the position where we're at now. So I just wanted that to be really clear, really, because I know there's some other conferences out there that you can go to, and they'll have someone come on stage, and you do tend to think to yourself, is this relevant? You know, and I think that's something we're going to be very passionate about, that everything what's going to get spoken about is going to be super, super relevant to your business.
Correct.
And yeah, that's what I'm excited about, to get that across and make sure people leave thinking, I know what I need to do and I know how I'm going to do it.
Yes, and that's one thing that we've always said, Mike, is when we've gone to conferences or seminars and things of that nature, and, you know, when you're sitting and giving someone, you know, you're giving someone your time, your attention, and then to end it and not have anything, for me, I think that's something that we're not doing. Wasting time. I'm going to cut out the bullcrap. We're not wasting your time. We're not going to have you sit
I went
there.
to a conference.
Go on.
I went to a conference once where the only thing I took away was that I got to speak and spend time with the speaker, the guy who was presenting the whole day. Mm-hmm. So all the people who were going up and speaking about different subjects, I didn't connect with them whatsoever. I took hardly any notes. But the guy who's presenting it, in my head, I'm thinking that's how I need to MC.
Yes.
Yeah. Imagine that. All of them people that are being paid to go on stage, I didn't even take in what they were trying to, the messages
crazy.
they were getting across, because I felt they weren't relevant. But the actual person whose message wasn't to educate actually educated me.
Yeah, that was your take home that day from that moment. And that's what we want. We want to have all of our seminars like that. You will pull something from everyone that comes to speak. And also, I think what makes it very relevant as well is that I think there's something special about teaching while still in action, while still on the front line. Like, we're not talking about, oh, we was big in 2017 or 2012, and we're telling you what we are currently doing now. And what I do like, is that there's quite a few of us, like, we do our businesses different, but we've all leveled a certain success. So there'll be some things that you might mention during the during the education day that I might mention that might be a little bit different, but that might resonate with that bunch of people, and this might resonate with the other bunch of people, to make sure that we're covering all angles. Do you know what I mean? And there's some things that we both do because it works. It works. So if it works for me in my area, and it works for Mike in Mike's area and his style and my style, then why wouldn't it work for others? So we're going to be able to present it to you so you can hopefully take some of those things away and then use that to make sure that your business is running much more efficient for the years and months coming ahead. So yeah, man, I can't wait for it, man. I think it's going to be a massive game changer, similar to kind of like how I felt when I first went to Pro Mobile. Obviously, for me, the networking side, like I said, that's where I met yourself. That's where I met quite a lot of DJs, Jay and Sounds. I think like when there was Paul Smith, he had a great one. The Magician Paul, sick. Then you had that guy Mitch Taylor from America. He's had a lot of things, but the thing that stuck with me the most was nothing to do about business. It was about time. And I remember at the end, he had a story about his next door neighbor who they passed away in a car, innit? They was driving somewhere, and I think it was like half of the family was at home, and they were rushing, and half of the family died on the motorway in a car crash. And I remember this was like the last 5 minutes of his presentation, and him talking about time. And one of the things I took away from that is, like, I always look at it as like, when you're doing certain things, and this is even in business and stuff, sometimes we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and we put a lot of things that we must do and everything else. But I always try to think about when we're chasing our dreams, chasing the missions, all this education, everything, what me and Mike are talking about, everything. But when you're doing all the things that you're doing, always remember, or not always remember, but what I always try to think about is your time is valuable. So when you're doing things, try to remember that at some stage you're going to be on your deathbed. And when you're on your deathbed, what questions are you going to ask yourself? Because you're never going to regret the things that you did do. You're only going to regret the things that you didn't do. So make sure, if you can think about what you might say to yourself while on your deathbed. Most of us, we want to spend more time with our kids. We want to spend time with our wives. We want to do this. Whatever it is, just make sure you're doing that now as well. Don't wait until next month, next year, when I get that or when that time comes. Make sure you do those things now while you're happy, while you're healthy, while the money's coming in, while everything. Don't wait until you're on your deathbed and you're on your last leg. Oh, man, I really wish I was able to do that. So that is one thing that I took away from Mitch Taylor's talk.
So I've got a message.
Go on.
I've got a message to get out to the universe.
Let's go. Go for it. This is the best place for it.
And yeah, absolutely. So as you know, because of my reading and studying and all that sort of stuff, I've been doing quite a lot of reflecting. And let's say 3 or 4 weeks ago, I was doing a bit of reflecting. And one thing I really wanted to do was reflect on myself, not necessarily other people.
Okay.
And one thing I worked out very, very quickly is that everything I'm doing right now, today, was never part of the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Was part of the plan being a DJ? No. Did I plan to live in Stevenage? Did I plan to work in the wedding industry? Nope. Did I plan to become friends with you, Mangala?
Mm-hmm.
Nope. Did I plan to marry my wife? Nope. Did I plan to have 3 kids? Nope. And that list went on and on and on. And then I thought to myself, if what I'm doing now wasn't part of the plan, why am I getting so hung up on what the future's going to be? Because the evidence is in front of us that nothing that we planned 10 years ago has actually happened.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because for me, and I can only talk for me, and I have thought about other people and asked other people, the answer is always no when what they're doing today.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're worrying, like I got a little bit obsessed about what am I going to do when I'm 50, okay? Now that's in 7 years. And I've just got to the point now where I've said, well, if I worry and plan for when I'm 50 in 7 years' time, it's very likely then plans aren't going to come off, because all of the plans I've done up until now haven't paid off, because none of what I'm doing now was part of the plan. And guess what? I'm the happiest, I'm the most content, and the best I've ever been.
Yes.
And so for me, the most important thing is what I do today.
Mm-hmm.
And now I know that gets said by many people, like, work hard today, da-da-da-da-da. But actually think about it. If you work really hard today on something, then all that's going to do is contribute to a better future.
Compound interest, 100%.
Yeah. And from, going back to like our relationship, if I hadn't put the effort in to speak to you at the conference, and being the best I can be and have a really good conversation and get to know you, then we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
No, we wouldn't be here today, no.
So for me, that just shows that today is the most important day. And I don't need, being open and honest, I don't have goals. I don't have a target. I don't have a number of weddings I need to do every year. I don't have a certain pound that I need to make every single year. All that sort of stuff. I don't do that. I just work hard on the day, every single day. Yeah. Because the results will look after the future.
Yes.
Yeah, because you don't know who's watching, who's listening, who's reading. And that honestly, you will have the brightest future if you just work hard today and just forget about tomorrow. So yeah, that's my little
very profound,
to the
Mr.
world.
Reddins. I like that, bro.
Yeah.
I like that, man. And do you know what, actually, just to talk about, going back to Level Up Live, one of the massive things that I think we're going to be doing that day for a lot of people, Mike, is mindset. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, like you said, what you were just saying just then, a lot of people know different things, a lot of people have heard different things, but once we get your mindset to just shift ever so slightly, you can use those things in much more powerful ways about how your mind is set on things. Similar to like what you were just saying just now. That's a mindset shift. Do you know what I mean? In terms of thinking about what you're doing now, because a lot of us can worry about the future. And And once again, the voice comes in the head. You start to be heavy and negative on yourself. I'm not at that goal. I'm so far away, and you beat yourself down, and you don't end up feeling that great. But if your mind shifts ever so slightly, and you say to yourself, no, I'm getting there. I got to make sure to do. Do you know what? If I can focus on today, like you say, next month, next year, will look after itself. I've got to make sure today is good, and that comes back to being present, isn't it? Being present to now, and not
100%.
thinking about yesterday, last year, and your failures, and not thinking about. Don't think about that way. Don't think about that way. Think about this way. Being present. And if your mindset shifts in that sense, and it's the little things that you do daily that make the big futures. So, like I do set goals. I don't set times on the goal. So I just say, I would love to have this. It would be great to have that. It would be yet one day. And I don't set a date. And like,
I do contradict myself. Yeah.
Sorry?
I was going to say I do contradict myself though, because I do the whole manifesting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there is an element of thinking about
goal
the future,
setting, yeah.
but not putting pressure
Yes.
on this needs to happen. How am I going to make that happen? And if it doesn't happen, that's a failure, because I just don't think that's possible. But based on the evidence that we know today, and I'd love to have a conversation with someone who, everything they've achieved was part of a plan, but, because I can't see how that's possible.
Yeah, I
because
think
of
life.
what challenges life throws at you.
Yeah, you can't plan life, so you can't. Like, yeah, you can have goals, but sometimes you're going to miss the target. Sometimes you'll get there quicker. And that's the same, just like what you're saying. I have goals, but I don't put dates to them. Because I used to set goals and time dates. And if I didn't make it, I would beat myself up, man. Even running up towards it, knowing that I can't do that in 28 days. I can't do that in 2 weeks. I can't do that in 8 days. I can't do that in three hours. The dates come. I'm a failure. Do you know what I mean? And that's not the case.
What you've done there is a task. So I mentor someone at the moment. He's a videographer. And one of the tasks I'd given him to do very early on was to write himself a letter that he will open in a year's time.
Sick.
But the letter is not about like a checklist or anything like that. The letter is reading about what you've achieved over the last 12 months. So it's congratulating basically what you've achieved. And I just felt that was like really good reverse psychology, and also it will make him think about what he's going to be doing over the next 12 months, because he knows. I haven't read the letter, but we've booked in a date of when we're going to meet up, and we're going to open the letter. He's going to read it, and we're going to see how much of that is actually true and factual based on what he's achieved in the last 12 months. And how powerful is that?
That's bruv. Even you saying that, I think I'm going to do that after this pod. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to do that, because even like you see Shaq, like
why don't we both do it? Why don't we both do it?
As we always do, Mike. Accountability. We do things as a team. Yeah, I'm just making a note of this.
He's taking notes. Yeah, he's making notes.
Yeah, what am I? Yeah, 100%. I like that. No, I like that, because all that's gonna do, Mike, is bring gratitude, bro. That's all it's gonna do. It's gonna give you immense gratitude in 12 months. Immense. There's so many goals. Well, things that I've spoken about, like I said, no dates, but me and Shaq. So when me and Shaq, we always speak. And Shaq is the one that, when he looks at the things that I'm doing now with the podcast, the Instagram, the TikTok, these are things that I said a while ago. I was like, I want to be able to do these things. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. And for me to do that, I need to have this. I need to have this. I need to have this. So we just put some bullet point things, not with no dates. Like just achievements. It'll be good to have these achievements, have this achievement. You got to have these things so you can just keep going. And when I look back, I was talking to Shaq the other day, and he goes, bruv, you've hit all your things. I said, what? He goes, bro. And he goes back in his notepad. Do you remember you said you wanted to have a podcast? You didn't even know how. You didn't even know nothing about a podcast. You wanted to be someone in the industry. You wanted to be this. You wanted to be able to share knowledge. You wanted to help some others. These are the things you were saying. You were just talking passionately. I want to be able to help people. When I came in the game, no one helped. Da, 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 da. And like I said, I started meeting you, Mike. And it just grew. And when he said that other day, I said, oh my gratitude. It's like, bro, all these things you've done, all of them. Even one of them, Mike, was being booked out for 12 months. I've never been booked out. Before speaking, when I was talking to Matt Shaq then, that was like something that I would hear other people achieve, but I can't achieve that. Like I don't know how, and I don't know if it's really possible. I've heard it, but I don't know if it's true. I'm fully there, and I've been there since the start of this year. And it's those things where you're like, I'm doing good. Back to what you were saying about the daily small daily things will get you crazy places. Absolutely, absolutely insane. So they're going to be picking up all of that and some at the Level Up live show. Make sure you guys get your tickets. We've got the link in the description. Go get your tickets right now. If you want to be that person, you can be there. I'm going to be there. Mike's going to be there. We've got loads and loads and loads of other special guests. Some people that you've seen in the pod and some people that you haven't seen. So you can check out the event page and see if it's definitely going to be something for you. Tickets might still be available. We've only got a few because it's a small network of people. But if you want to be involved, link in the description. Jeez.
I want to put out there a message. A bit of a call to action, really.
Oh, nice.
So, as I previously mentioned, I mentor a videographer. I would love to mentor a DJ.
Okay, well, this is the best place for it. Okay, so Mike, I know we've spoken about this before. With this DJ you're trying to mention, because you're going to get a flood of DMs, but we need to. What do you call it? What do you call it? We need to. Not qualify. No, it's like a qualified.
We need to filter.
Yeah, filter. Yes, because it's not just going to be available for everybody, is it?
Sure. Yeah. So just to be transparent as well. So my expertise really is like taking existing businesses to the next level. So it's not necessarily starting businesses. So I suppose what I'm looking for is a DJ that's full time. Has been full time for a minimum of 2 years. Okay. Who is up and running, but basically just wants to go to the next level. I don't want them to be local to me. And again, just being transparent, the reason why I don't want them to be local to me is because I think it'd be too easy for me to give them all the results, because I will know the venues, I will know the venue managers,
the photographers, you know a lot of people. Yes, correct. You could shoehorn
exactly, I will be giving them all the answers. So I want someone who does not live in Hertfordshire, which is where I live. So that's going to be important. I want someone who wants to grow, who's passionate about growing, isn't just this is an opportunity to grow, so I'm going to do it. I want someone who's been thinking about wanting to grow for a while, not too sure where to start or who to speak to and all that sort of stuff. It's not going to be easy, and the best way I can describe it, you've probably been in the slow lane. Well, I'm going to take you into the fast lane. Yeah, it's not going to be easy, and you might get upset. There might be times. Yeah, at times we might go past the speed limit. Yeah, it might get a bit scary at times, but I'm all about truth, facts, and I'm about pushing people out of their comfort zone. So it's not for everyone. And if that ticks your boxes, then I need you to DM me. So you can DM me on my DJ Mike Reddins. So it's an underscore between DJ and Mike.
Well, it's in the description.
Mike and Reddins. Okay, perfect. So DM me, and then in 2026, I will be starting a Instagram page that is going to be basically sharing all my knowledge and my tips and tricks that I'll be sending out. Obviously, not everything. Okay, so obviously I've got to keep some back for myself, but yeah, and a lot of this will all be integrated into Level Up Live. It's all going to be part of one thing.
Yes.
And the whole idea about that, as you've spoken quite a few times, is I'm a massive advocate of AI. I need to start sharing a bit more with people how I use AI, what I do to make my job a lot easier using AI, and keeping people up to date on the new AI updates, because Jesus Christ, it changes every day.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's literally crazy.
Yeah, and I want to be that guy who shares it, but not just shares the new update, but explains how you can add this into your business. So that way, I only share the relevant updates. So if that's going to be like a ChatGPT update, or it's going to be something to do with Google Gemini, whatever it is, I'm going to try to keep it super simple, but I'm going to show you or explain how you can implement this into your business and the reasons why you should as well. So yeah, if that's something one of the listeners wants to get involved in, then come and see me, or not come and see me, DM me, and then a lot of it probably done by Zoom. Unless you want to come and travel, which that you can't beat face to face. So if you're happy to invest in a bit of petrol money, come over.
would
And
say,
like you did,
yeah,
when
I
you
would
come
say,
over.
Mike, I'm gonna go in actually and jump in here and say, you have to come and meet Mike once. And I think to start, I think that's what I would. That's what I would. I'm only saying it because that's what
I
worked for me,
agree.
Mike. Do you
I
know what I
agree.
mean? My first meeting with you, I came down to you because all that's gonna, guys. Let me tell you something. I don't know who this person is, but there's this person's listening right now. I don't know who you are. I don't know which one's gonna get it, and it's only one. It's only one person. It's not gonna be a bunch of people. It's one. And Mike, how much are you charging this person?
Zero. Big fat
What?
zero.
Whoa. So this person
Yeah.
is getting a free mentor. This is what's happening right now, guys. There's an offer for a free mentor. Not any mentor, a mentor that 247 uses. Bro. So all that's going to happen to your business is that it's like he said, he's going to go into the fast lane. You know, when you're meant to do 70, sometimes you'll be doing 110. You'll be like, oh my God. I'm only in a Fiesta. It's like, don't worry, man. We got airbags. Just keep going into the next junction. Then we're going to slow down and come to 80, and then I'm going to show you how to, you know what I mean, how to slow it down in gear 6, and we'll be okay. We'll be okay. So it's
And just to be transparent as well,
yeah, no,
like I
transparency is
just
the
want to
best.
just quickly cover. So the guy I've been mentoring, and he won't mind me saying this, but you know, one of the first things I done with him, and I think I've done exactly the same with you, Mandela, and another friend, Michael, is the first thing I do is I look at it, and if I was to buy your business off you,
Yeah, that's
what would
you
I
said.
change?
What would you change? Yeah, that's what you said. That's what you said.
What would I go, right, lovely, what am I going to change? That's basically what I'm going to do. And because I think that's priceless, having someone in the same industry take over your business. So that's the first thing. And then, you know, the biggest mistake, especially when it comes to things like websites and everything, a lot of people have designed their website probably 5 years ago. Okay. Couples change. Yeah. People getting married at the moment. Yeah. They were just finishing school during COVID. Yet they are different types of people. So, you know, it's so important making sure that your website is, you know, understood and valued by today's couples.
Yes, correct.
Because the couples that are getting married now are completely different to 5-10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and again, just sharing insights here, you know, couples today, they want to see videos. Yeah, they don't like reading. Yeah, they want instant answers. Yeah, they take their time when deciding to pay their deposit. You know, so all of these little things we need to consider and stop thinking about how it was 5-10 years ago, or as what some people say, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
You know, pre-COVID weddings are completely different.
Completely different.
You know, I never used to pick up Tuesday weddings in pre-COVID.
True.
They never
Now
used to
there's
exist.
Monday. Now it's every single day, Mike. Like Monday, Tuesday. There's wedding days that doesn't exist. That I'll be like, is that really on Monday? Checking the calendar. Yes, on a Monday.
How do we ensure that we're catering for that? Well, I can tell you straight up that, you know, we need to be talking to these couples about, you know, how we're going to ensure that your Tuesday wedding is going to be as good as a Saturday wedding.
Correct.
You know, and it's getting the right mindset that when you're having these discussions, that you're feeding them with confidence because you're saying the things they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So there's lots and lots to think about when it comes to like the modern day couple, you know, and thankfully I've gone and learnt it myself, and I understand how it all works, and I keep up to date with it and all that sort of stuff. And all I want to do is I just want to see if I can get that to work with someone else. And you know, I'm not going to hold someone's hand. I'm not going to spend hours and hours and hours with someone. No way. You know, but what I will do is say, right, this is what you need to do next, and I will expect that person to go away and do that. You know, and at the first time they let me down, or they don't turn up, or they fail to do something, then it's game over.
Yeah, it's game over. It's red X, and I'm the same because time is, like I said, going back to what I said earlier, it's the most important thing we have over money, over anything. And if someone wastes your time, Mike, I'm out. So, guy, who I don't know who it's gonna be. Hey, Mike, I'm actually excited, man, that the person is just in the car or they're listening on YouTube or Spotify or Apple, and they're like, they probably paused it, Mike, and they sent you the message. Is there like a keyword or a phrase you want them to send, just so you know when you see the DM?
No.
Okay.
No, I just, you know, look, if whoever it is, they just want them to DM me. Let's go from there, because, you know, for me, I've got to do my checks, you know, because, you know, I don't want to be working with someone who hasn't even got a website.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be working with someone who only uses Facebook. That's not what I'm about. I'm about the people that are up and running, but they're up and running, but there's lots of growth there.
Yeah. Lots of potential.
Yeah, the house has been built, but there's an extension that can be put on.
Yeah.
There's a room that can be upgraded. Whatever it is.
Yeah, a loft conversion can happen to add value to the whole property. Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Let's get extension and a loft conversion for one of you lot, boy. Okay.
So let's make sure this happens, and I will. I'm excited to see what comes from it, and I'm learning as well. Again, Jesus Christ, how many times have I said transparent on this podcast? But I want to be transparent and say, like, this whole new project of mine, it's a new thing, and I'm learning, I'm studying, and all that sort of stuff, and I'm listening out to all of these people that say what you need to do and how you need to do it and all this sort of stuff, and I'm taking notes. Now I've got to put it into action, and now I've got to understand how I can implement what I believe in into someone else's business and make it work. Because you never know. I might go, right, this is how I do it, and this is what I want you to start doing. That person might not be in the right position to be like that. Because if I tell you to go and approach a venue in a certain way, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, then we're going to struggle. Because if I've done something myself, then I believe everyone else should be able to do it. And I can't put that any simpler. That's my mindset. If I can go to the gym, everyone can go to the gym. If I can be a DJ, everyone else can be a DJ.
It's just if you want to, innit? That's what it boils down to. Do you want to? And a lot of people are like, I don't want to. And I'm like, I didn't want to go gym every week. I didn't want to go gym 3 times a week. But here we are. Like, some people look at me like, do you want to post every day? No, I don't want to post every day. No, I don't. But it has its benefits. Do I want to post regular? It has its benefits. There's a lot of things that I do. Like, I'm like, oh, like this podcast afterwards, do I want to edit it? No. I love shooting it. Do I want to edit it? No. But I got to edit it to get it out there. Do you know what I mean? The thumbnail. No. Do you know what I mean? But there's some things that you don't want to do, but the results is what's going to pay you back the dividends afterwards. So sometimes, like you said about being uncomfortable, sometimes you have to be uncomfortable. I don't think there's no successful person that's not been uncomfortable. You have to experience a lot of uncomfortability to become successful. Otherwise, success is not worth nothing. And
I'm on a mission at the moment, because I hear too many people moaning about the industry or moaning about they've not got enough bookings. I'm on a mission at the moment to tell people you're not entitled to these inquiries. Yeah, just because you post on a free platform does not entitle you to an inquiry. Yeah, if you want to be a successful business, guess what? You might have to invest money. And why should we not? If we are out there charging hundreds, thousands,
100%.
Yeah, then if we want them to invest in us, then we've got to invest in ourselves.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you are struggling for bookings, but you're posting on Instagram, you know what? You might have to spend £100 a week on advertising, on meta ads. But I can guarantee you, your bookings will go up, because there's a reason why you're not paying for Instagram, and there's a reason why ads cost money. It's as simple as that.
Correct.
It's the same with Google Ads and things like that.
Yeah,
your website's not getting found.
If it's not
hitched. There's a reason why you're not paying. So I don't know. We've become, not just in the wedding industry, I'm sure many industries, but we all believe that we're entitled to, just because we've got a good website or we've got a good Instagram or we do weddings, we're entitled to them inquiries. Guess what? We're not. There's 3,000 weddings a day in the UK. Okay. Well, guess what?
3,000. Wow.
There's 3,000 weddings a day, right? Well, guess what? Yeah, if there's 3,000 out there, I'm pretty sure we can pick up at least one of them a week.
Yeah.
But it's up to you how we find that one a week.
Correct. Love that. All right, Mike. Before we close, this has been a healthy one today. Before we close, we just mentioned about that last bit about your page that you're gonna be creating, because obviously people are gonna message you now, but you're gonna be sharing some of your AI stuff and things like that. So, what other stuff can people look forward to when you do land your page in 2026?
Knowledge is going to be the biggest thing I'm going to be sharing. And for me, it's about I want to just say as it is. For me, like I just said about, we're not entitled to an inquiry. So what can we do to make sure we get them inquiries?
Yes.
So definitely some true facts like that. One of the things I really want to get into is about the Wedding Industry Awards, about being a judge. So I might touch on that on my personal page, not my business page, the DJ Mike Reddins page. So come and follow me on DJ Mike Reddins if you want tips and tricks and truthful conversations about Twitter. I'm there. I will be sharing what things to do in your application. I'm not going to tell you how to do it because that would be wrong of me, but I will definitely be saying things like make sure you answer every question, because that was my biggest shock
People
ever
just didn't
last
answer
year.
questions, just ignored questions.
Yeah. Or didn't upload videos, or didn't upload photos, and honestly, what's the point of entering if you're not going to do it? You're just wasting your money. So and thinking outside of the box. Tell you straight up, as a judge, man, it is boring reading the same thing over and over and over again. Especially that question, what is your ethos?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, I just want to... Yeah, I can only imagine.
It is the same thing every time. But you know what? The thing what stuck out for me was when someone actually thought about the answer and actually put a twist on it.
Yeah, put some... Yeah, I know what you mean. I actually thought about...
Do something, do something that's going to make, the judge go, that's interesting. Because then when you then read the next answer... you're then waiting for something to be said, and that's what I thought. And honestly, like there was times when I was just like, next, and if I'm doing that, then trust me, you're not going to be a winner because you're not sticking out. And and the ones I can even now remember the applications that I was like, wow. They were the ones who were doing things completely different. They were the ones who were just talking about being a DJ. They were the ones who were talking about, the process, the booking process, and how connecting with couples and all that sort of stuff was, and they were outlining exactly what they do, and the offerings. It wasn't just the DJ turning up with some uplighting.
Yeah. There was more to it.
There was so much more to that. Yeah. And you know what? The first thing I do, I will go onto their website, I will go onto their Instagram, and I'll make sure that the answer they give is factual against their website and their Instagram.
Because as soon as you see one lie, you're like, I'm out. This guy's...
Because you are talking to Mr. AI here. I know exactly what ChatGPT can write. Yeah. And last year we saw a lot of ChatGPT answers. Yeah, this year I think it's going to be even more. Yeah, so I want to put it out there to the universe that if you start using ChatGPT to get it to answer your questions, I will notice.
Yeah.
I will not. I will not spend more than 10 seconds on your profile if I feel like you've used ChatGPT. Now, some people might look at that and go, "That's a bit unfair," because they might not have used it. Trust me. When you know what you need to look for, it's so clear that ChatGPT has been used. It's so clear. However, and I will probably dig deeper into this, there are ways you can use ChatGPT for your application. Yeah, there are ways, for instance, you might turn around and go, you know what?
Gems.
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Sorry, Matt, carry on.
Yeah, no. So it might, the question is, what is the ethos of your business? Now, some people, including myself, when I first answered, I went, what the bloody hell is an ethos?
Yeah, it's true. Some people don't know what it is. Correct.
Yeah, going on to ChatGPT and actually saying, right, break down for me, what an ethos is for a business. Break down for me what are the different elements for a wedding DJ business an ethos should cover. That's just the bottom line. And now all you need to do is look at what ChatGPT's advised and start thinking, well, actually, my ethos is that I make sure every single wedding is custom to the couple, and that I don't play the same music every single wedding because it's different guests at every single wedding. Did you know what I mean? It's stuff like that that's where you should be just using ChatGPT to help you with the answers, not answer the questions for you. Yeah. So, but to give you a real example, there was someone last year who runs an amazing business to the point where I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Okay. But in every single answer, it was a Z rather than an S in lots of words. So they literally jumped on ChatGPT. Now, they might have even done it to go in grammar, all that sort of stuff. Okay. But I'm out. As soon as I start seeing, certain words with a Z in, then I know they haven't set up their ChatGPT correctly because they're using it as American English, but they've just left themselves wide open there. Now, I think if that person wouldn't have done that, they might have gone on to actually win. But they let themselves down by just copying and pasting off ChatGPT, and it was as clear as day. Now, that doesn't happen much now because of the advances of ChatGPT, but there are other things that you can notice from a mile off when you know what you're looking for. So I would just say to everyone, look, just be careful. Yeah, just be careful with using AI when it comes to filling out your application form, and don't forget about your videos. Don't forget about your photos, and that doesn't mean you have to upload photos or videos of people dancing. Think outside of the box. Make sure your Instagram's tight. Make sure your website's tight. Just give it a bit of a spring clean.
Go over it. Make sure you're happy with some of the things. Anything that's not there, remove. Check for spelling mistakes. Like little things. Clean up, tidy up. Do your best is what you want to do, innit? Is do your best.
Because if we're going to rewind now, nearly an hour ago, what did I talk about at the start? How entering the wedding industry was just improved my business.
Just improve the business, yeah.
So doing that spring clean, it's good for your application, but you know what it's ultimately good for?
Business.
Your business.
Correct.
Because if you are now very big on TikTok, but you've not got a TikTok logo on your website, guess what? This is the moment to put the TikTok logo on your website because you've been meaning to do that for months and months and months.
Yes, correct. Now's the time.
So all them little jobs that you feel like you need to do them now. Just spend one day doing it. Go to Starbucks, got no distractions, just get them all done. And that's, believe it or not, can be what makes the big difference.
Yeah, 100%. Mike, I'm going to close it there, bruv. This has been, guys, I don't know if you don't know, you've been listening to this podcast for quite some time. This has been a very different episode. And the reason I would say myself is because I've had no questions, no agenda. Me and Mike said that we was going to come onto this thing, and we just wanted to kind of just talk. We knew some things that we wanted to talk about, but we just want to talk. Want it to be kind of like unstructured, and we just want to kind of go for it and just speak from, as Mike has said about 50,000 times, and speak with when you say honesty, like we want to be honest and transparent.
Yeah,
be honest and transparent, and just chat to you guys, and so you can kind of see kind of what it is that we're doing. Like I said, I'm going to keep echoing it again. DJ Network, most important thing. If you take one thing from this podcast, make sure you take that fitness above everything, guys. Make sure you're doing, because of the work, like I said, the work that we do and social hours has this unhealthy element. So we have to be mindful and making sure that our health is being thought about. And also, lastly, like what Matt was just saying about, if you're going to enter the awards, do your best to spring clean. And sometimes it's not always about the win. And sometimes I needed that, Mike. The day I didn't win, I needed to know that it was what my business was doing, the run up to getting it ready. I might not have won, but like I said, I was fully booked. After that, I was fully booked out for the whole rest of the year. Do you know what I mean? So some people might be like, that's your trophy. And the few things that you did, the things that I did do, I know I did update polish my website late, but I did do that, my Instagram, and then the business did this. The business just did that. I might not have won the Tuya Awards, but my business has 100x since that. So, sometimes it's not always about the winning, man. But Mike, man, thank you so much for your time, bro. Boy, we've been here for a while. It's been magical. I think this is my marathon podcast because I can already tell minimal editing here. This is minimal. I'm like, yes, it's minimal edits in this podcast. So we're definitely going to pull it out in probably it's 99% in entirety. Mike, before we go, is there any last words you want to leave for the peoples? And that could be anything at all, my man. Anything you want to just leave us? Last words.
I was on a podcast about a year ago, Becca apparently, and she asked me a question, very similar, at the end of her podcast.
Yes.
She asked me,
I know her question that she answers. Gone.
Like, what advice would you give to someone starting up and all that sort of stuff?
Mm.
And there's been a few people who have approached me since then and told me that they took on my advice and it has been a game changer.
Mm-hmm.
And that advice is very simple. Stop doing DIY. The biggest changes I've made to my business, that have had the biggest impact of where I've invested money into others to do something properly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that includes someone building my website, someone creating my copy, someone creating my branding. Now, it's not cheap, but I've always believed in investing in deposits.
Mm-hmm.
So I personally asked for a £400 deposit. Now, them deposits, I try and invest into the business. Okay. And so every time I get a deposit, I quite often think to myself, what should I do with that?
Mm-hmm.
How can I spend that on the business?
How can I get to improve? What is it I can do to?
So one particular person I've got, he looks after my branding. So I love Canva. I love doing all that sort of stuff. Yeah. But when you get someone who's not using Canva, who's using proper professional software,
yeah, proper stuff,
and the tricks they can pull, and this particular guy has literally made me the most amazing brochures. He's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not cheap, but when we were talking about earlier about first impression,
mm-hmm.
that's what stands out, because the printed brochures that I give out open days are ended up in people's houses.
Yeah, the next level, mate. The next level, bruv. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I remember one time. Sorry to pause you. I went to Million Bar and I stole yours. It was so good. I was like, this is so good. Yeah. But anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, and so he's the guy behind that. And then there's a lady in America, Andrea. She works in the wedding industry as a copywriter. She went and interviewed loads of my couples before she even started writing my website for me.
Wow.
And so she's just unreal. And I've had people like, I mentioned her earlier, Kelly Mortimer, when she does a bit of mentoring for me. And when she was looking over my website and everything for me, she said this is really, really good copy. Now, you're talking about someone there who is so experienced, who's actually giving you a tick for, your copy. And I'm thinking that investment, was worthwhile, because if she's giving it the tick, then clients are going to give it the tick 10x.
Mm-hmm.
But then, there's other people that maybe are not clients that are now going to be very respectful, like yourself. You've mentioned quite a few times about you think my website's good. Well, you think my website's good. Someone like Kelly said my website's good. Well, I've just spent a lot of money on getting it updated, mm-hmm. To make it even better. Yeah. The moment I realised that I was done with the DIY, because I was spending too much time creating something and then thinking, is it good enough? Getting other people's opinion. Mm-hmm. I'd change it. And then sometimes I wouldn't even follow through and do it. All that sort of stuff. You know what, look, scrap DIY. If a couple went and created their own playlist on Spotify and used it at their wedding, we'd all frown upon it. Yeah.
That's a good way for people that are pushing back. That's a good way of looking at it, because we know Spotify playlists and people that are not DJs, they will put the songs together and it won't work. Your wedding will be crap, and it's the same thing. DIY. You would have been like, any of us would be like, why didn't they book a DJ? And be like, well, why don't you book someone to do your website?
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that would be my message to everyone, was if you really do want to start taking business serious, because there's a lot of people who are really good at their job, but they're really good because that's their hobby and their passion. But maybe what they're not good at is the business.
The business side, yeah, correct.
And they're definitely the people that need to start thinking about paying people to do stuff. Because if you're no good at writing ads, or, you know, creating content or writing copy, yeah, because you're just passionate about photography or whatever it is, then yeah, from the start I've been passionate about so many things. I'd actually say DJing actually probably isn't my number one passion.
That's interesting. Actually, that doesn't, knowing you now, that doesn't crazy surprise me. Your business, Mike, when we speak, we don't talk about music. When do we talk about music?
Never.
When do we talk about beat matching and freight? We never talk about that. We never. Now I think about it, Mike, we never speak about that. It's always business, growth, development, improvements. It's always that. It's always making sure that needle is facing upward trend. Doesn't matter how much increments, 0.1%, 8%, 1.2, whatever it is, but it's always doing that. If it's doing that, then we're on the right trajectory, which we are. So
Yeah. And again, going back to scrapping the whole DIY, a slightly different angle on that is like, just because we're really good at something doesn't mean we can't get better. So Scott won't mind me saying this, but recently I went and had some DJ lessons. That's not because I can't DJ, and that's not because I can't mix, but I just wanted to become even better.
Yeah, correct.
And I went and saw the guy in Wembley. What's his name? Yep, Tony. Terry.
From On
Yeah.
the Rise Academy, yeah.
Exactly that, yeah. So I was going over to Wembley and having DJ lessons, and it totally changed my mindset to being more creative with my mixing, because no one taught me how to mix. No one taught me how to choose the right songs. I taught that myself, how 99% of other DJs do that. But actually, take a step back and think to yourself, you know, well, just because I know how to do it based on what I've taught myself, does that mean I'm doing it correctly and the best I can do it? You know, so just going over to see Terry, and Terry listening to my mixes and just saying to me, like, slightly tweak this and practice on this and, you know, replicate this and all that sort of stuff, totally changes your, you know, mindset on even just the way you mix, scratch, and how creative you can get.
How you can be, yeah.
Yeah, so again, I know it's not so much DIY, but it's still that mindset of like, just because you think you're okay and you're doing good and you're successful.
Yeah, sometimes go and get lessons, see, you can learn, you can prove
doesn't
better. Yeah,
yeah, you'll never ever be perfect at something, you know. Because I look, I might be wrong, but I bet you any money the likes of Calvin Harris and all that sort of stuff, they don't believe they're perfect. No. And I bet you they practice, they learn, they study.
Yes.
I bet you any money.
Of course they do. 100% they do.
Yeah.
100%.
You know, and just because, yeah, that's it. You know, we you know, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. Yeah, if you are, you know, the best at writing books, but you've never brought out the Harry Potter book. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
There's always the next level. You know, what is top dog? You know, in the wedding industry, what is top dog? I don't know.
I don't think it is there. There's always going to be. There is no end. There's no end. It's endless. If that makes any sense.
Well, you look at the wedding industry awards. It's got nothing to do with DJing.
No,
you're literally looking at someone's business.
Yeah.
That's why my personal opinion is the judges should be scattered across all the different categories, because I don't think you're actually looking at the DJing. You're not looking at the cake making. Yeah, but that's a different story. That's a different opinion. But I honestly, you know, I suppose the point I'm trying to get to here is just, you know, sometimes you can get content, okay, but just remind yourself that you don't know everything. You can be better, and complacency is the worst trait.
Yes, it's dangerous.
If you get complacent, that's a slippery slope, and that is one hell of a mountain to climb back up and get there, because you're talking about networking and things like that. Yeah, when you're falling down that mountain because you're getting complacent, you need someone to give you that that hook to grab hold of and pull yourself back up.
Correct.
Yeah, that's it. Pull them back up, because it's too easy, and we know that.
Yeah,
we've experienced this.
100%.
How the times when we've had to pull each other and motivate each other and remind each other and hold each other accountable. There we go.
Right, that was another philosophical one, but yeah, that book, I need to read more of that book. That book's doing you some that book is doing you some benefits. Mike is turning into a philosopher to us. And on that note, we are both very big on investing in yourself, and one way that you can invest in yourself today is getting your tickets for Level Up Live, where you will be able to level up yourself and invest into your business. Exactly the things that we've been talking about through this whole podcast. And that's the reason why me, Mike, and Dan Ross, big up Dan Ross, who's coming back on another episode. That's why we are bringing this show to life, because we believe that there's something missing in our industry. So we thought, like, who better to bring it to life than us, because we're very passionate, as you can probably hear, and there's so much that we believe this industry can achieve and do. For the ones that want it, we know it's not for everybody, and that's okay. But the one that it is for, link in the description, grab your tickets, and we will see you on the 22nd of February 2026. Mike, once again, man, thank you so much for your time. Definitely have to get you on, bruv. Look at the length of the time. Well, I think we need to give them another marathon. We need to give them another marathon episode. Guys, if you've made it to the last part, if you've made it this far to the podcast, I want you to go into the comment wherever I want you to go into any comment where you're at and just write "made it," because that "made it" to me says two things. It says that you've made it to the end and you're going to make it also. So just write "made it" at the end, that because this is the longest episode that's been on the Mobile DJ Mastery podcast, and I actually love it. Like I said, I love that. I love the fact, because I know if one person says "made it," which I know is going to do, that just lets me know that we've been dropping a lot of great gems. Mike, thank you, man. You've dropped on. That's why I kept saying gems. That's just dropping fantastic gems for the people. They're going to catch more from you on the event, because I know you've got a wicked seminar put together, and also when you land the pay. So more gems coming, guys. More gems coming, and also, like he said, DM if you want to jump on the mentorship opportunity. Guys, I'm going to say it myself. Yeah, that mentor program that Mike's giving you for free, I could easily say it's worth 1,500 quid. Easy. And I think even that's a discount, because in that 12 months, you're gonna make at least 7, 8, 9 times that. Easy. So, and it's for free. So jump on it now, because I don't know when it's gonna end. You might go and you're like, listen, I'm already working with someone, because this podcast comes out at different times. But jump on it when
that's the thing as well. Yeah, that is really, really important, that this is not just something to sit on, because if 3, 4, 5 people message me in the next week, then that's the people I'm considering. If message me in a month's time, we're on track. We're cruising. We're in the middle lane at the moment. Yeah. So don't just sit on it if that is something you want to think
just
about.
Move quick.
But saying that, do have a think about if you are the right person to come onto this, because if you're not committed and you don't have the passion and you don't want to be in the fast lane and you don't think you can handle it, absolutely, you don't really want to go down that route if that's not something you want to achieve.
And that's okay as well.
Not part of your plan.
That is fine as well. That's also
absolutely
fine.
Yeah, we're all different.
Yeah, So yeah, man.
Well, I know lots of people who just sit there and they're quite happy just to cruise.
Yeah, same. And that's, once again, each to their own. Those people don't listen to this podcast, Mike.
Yeah.
So yeah, they can stay in the cruise control, but we are all about leveling up and becoming mobile DJ masters. But anyway, guys, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. Make sure you head into the description to get your tickets, to go and give Mike a follow, and also you can jump onto the Patreon to support this channel to keep the lights on, so we can make sure we do not leave. Guys, it's been amazing, man. I'm gonna catch you same time, same place next week for some more crazy gems on the Mobile DJ Mastery Podcast. Cheese!